Good evening, hockey fans around the world. USPHL Nation is about to get a bit bigger. The National Collegiate Development Conference, the Tier 2 junior hockey experience in the U.S., is ready for its latest, freshest class of incredible talent to be drafted tonight. Dan Kay, that's me, to my right-hand man. Mike Insigliere, Montfrere from another mayor, Lucas Jones live from the defending Deneen Cup champions home. This will be a new thing for the USPHL, for the NCDC. Each year, the champions will host us to listen in on draft day, to watch along. And Lucas, it's been a crazy preparation today for the first pick to be made. IHC will be the first team on the clock, but every squad with a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, the Islanders Hockey Club, well, they've got a little extra time to sort of make that first pick, right? They've known about this for a while, but there's always that little bit of pressure. Are you making the right choice? Are you gonna find someone that fits your squad? We'll have to wait to find out what they and the rest of these teams decide to pick. But you know, it's a lot of fun to be doing it from the home of the Jersey Hitmen here, of course, the defending Deneen Cup champions, and a little fun extra thing to get to play for, to be able to host the show.
Yeah, and you look at it, Lucas, you've not slept at all on the technical side of things. I have been diving into the numbers of these players, trying to go Mel Kiper as possible here. Todd. I'm not going to call you Todd McShay. I'm not going to do my Mel Kiper ever again on this thing. What I'm going to do is our best Dan K, the most watched show in junior hockey, the Dan K Show. You can follow along at _Dan K Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Tonight, we will have the first 2 rounds live. You will then be able to follow along. This thing could go as many as 50 rounds. We got 2 newcomers that need to fill their 70-man roster here, their protected list. You have a 70-man protected list that you can get to. Will some of our new teams do it with the draft? They could go 50 rounds if they want to. They got 20 tenders to start off their squads, the Mercer Chiefs and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. We welcome them to the league. IHC, there's a lot of ways that can go with this first pick. Tim Kirkostas, a lot on his mind before we get into the draft, before we introduce in the commissioner, Bob Turo, to kick this thing off. We remind you that tonight it will be 05 and 06 players who are eligible to be drafted. Why is that? Well, you heard from Commissioner Bob Turo. The idea behind the NCDC draft is that we're looking at younger players, many being outside of our league footprint, in order that we may better inform players about the benefits of the Tier 2 tuition-free NCDC and its pathway to college hockey. Lucas, the NCDC, beloved by us, near and dear to our hearts, it's cradle to college mantra.
Yeah, it really is. And so when you look at Cradle to College, when you look at the collegiate development's part of the name, right? You want younger players. You want players that you have a little more time to impact their development, right? You want to be able to find these guys, and you know, as the game trends younger anyway, as the game trends more skill, you want to have more of that end-to-end control over players. So I think this is a really positive development. I'm excited to see what comes through.
Just heard in my ear, Lucas. Commissioner Turo is ready to get this thing started off. Let's go to the great Bob Turo, our USPHL Commissioner Extraordinaire, to kick off the NCDC Entry Draft here in 2022, live from home.
Welcome to the 2022 NCDC Entry Draft. Before we begin, I'd like to welcome the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights and the Mercer Chiefs as new members of the NCDC Conference, and congratulate the Jersey Hitmen for their second consecutive National Collegiate Development Conference Championship. The NCDC's goal is to develop college hockey players in our tuition-free league that lies in the middle of 3 Division I conferences: Hockey East, the ECAC, and Atlantic Hockey. A little bit about the NCDC player procurement process. This year marks a transition where the NCDC shifts from 2 drafts to 1. Of note, the 2002 to 2004 birth year players are acquired by teams through our protection process of returning players, previously drafted players, affiliated players, tendered players, or via free agency. The focus tonight is on the 2005 and 2006 birth years, and only those birth years are eligible for the draft. These players are the future of American hockey. Tonight, teams will draft to their protected limits of 72 players. Some teams will only draft 10 times, where others, like Wilkes-Barre Scranton and Mercer, will draft considerably more because they have less protected players as they are expansion franchises. Good luck to all our member teams and their draftees throughout today's NCDC draft. Okay, let's get it started. The Islander Hockey Club has the first selection in the 2022 NCDC draft. Islanders, you're on the clock.
All right, Lucas, IHC is on the clock. That thing starts ticking. Let's go through some more rules of the draft as we wait for Coach Kirkostas and his squad's first pick. How many rounds are there? We just addressed it a bit. There's as many as 50. Why is that? There's a tender, there is a draft pick, 2 ways to get your players and your 70-man protected list, right? Obviously, you're not going to have a 70-man roster. But what you can do is you can protect players under the emblem of your squad. They can be a future player. They can play currently for your NCDC. They may go elsewhere in the country. They may never play for your squad. You protect the players, though, so other teams in the NCDC cannot go take them, right? Without a trade, without some sort of transaction. We see trades abound in this first and second round. We see some teams that have decided to tender players that have taken up pick slots in this draft to ensure they get the guy they want. There's a lot of strategy in this first round, Lucas. How many rounds? Again, some teams may pick for as little as 8 rounds tonight. We've heard 8 to 10 for some squads. I know Connecticut, the Junior Rangers, Coach Jim Hinkle talked. He may have he may be first out of this one. You can at some point in this draft say, I've picked my allotment, I am done, I'm going home. For others, for the Mercer Chiefs, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights, we're hearing as many as 35, all the way up to potentially all 50 picks tonight. It will stop when everyone says they are done. Here live, we will cover the first 2 rounds. Lucas, I know that you got some questions on Instagram from some folks. Do you remember any of those that you want Dan K to answer for you? Draft day extraordinary. I do pool math and I do draft day, and I do those 2 things.
Well, so I think the one that was asked, and you addressed it a little bit with the direct quote from Bob Turo, which is why the 05s, 06s, right? That was actually kind of the main focus of a lot of questions on social media. And I think it's worth expanding on that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And obviously we have that from the commissioner, but I think that as the game trends younger, like we said, you want to be able to impact things a little bit more. One thing we're seeing from a lot of teams, not just around the USPHL, but around other leagues as well, is the academy that's popping up, right? This ability to bring in a hockey player, and not just into a billeting situation, but into a school, right? Into a school type situation, almost something you'd see at the college level, where you're in dorms, you're going to classes, you're living sort of on campus. And I think when you talk about some of these younger players, it gives them that sense of professionalism early on. It helps them focus a little bit more, right? To be able to bring them into those. And I think that, when you look young, it really gives you a chance to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to being reactionary, it really forces you to be proactive.
Oh, 100%. Look at the Heelys of the Boston Advantage. Look at Cam Lund from the Boston Junior Bruins. These young guys, they get a chance to move on potentially to the USHL, right? Potentially straight to college. Potentially they end up on the draft watch list one day. You're going to see the best of the best here. For those 04s and up, right, those older age players, they are still available to tender. You see a team like the Jersey Hitmen, the building we're in today, they tendered none other than the Fresno Monsters' own McNasty, Tyler McNeil. So you can go and you can tender an 02 like McNeil. You can tender these guys of an older age, but to draft, you are drafting young. You are drafting these 05, 06 players that you're gonna look towards the future of your game. You may have teams that draft guys and they put 10 of these skaters today, 10 of these netminders on a roster this year. You may see a team draft guys for the future. There's a strategy involved in it, Lucas. I know we've heard from a lot of the coaches, Coach Drew Macholi, Tyler Holsky, the South Shore Kings, they have loaded up on early round picks, and they are looking to get young this year.
Yeah, and you absolutely love to see it. You'd love to see that commitment from across the NCDC. It takes a village, right, to be successful. And when all these teams are working together towards the one goal, it'll be incredible to see what comes out of it.
We're getting news that the first pick of the draft is coming in. The Islanders Hockey Club last year not up to what Coach K wanted to see. He had a young squad learning through. This is a coach that likes his team to skate fast, play hard, and win hockey games. The winning lineage of IHC is going to be back and better than ever. We heard that from Tim K, Coach Kirk Costas, one of our favorites. Let's go to Commissioner Bob Turo to unveil the first overall pick in the 2022 NCDC Draft.
With the first pick in the NCDC Draft, the Islander Hockey Club select from the Pittsburgh Penguins U16 Elite Team, forward Brayton Frick.
We are here, draft night, and the first overall pick has taken time out of his busy schedule on draft night to talk with the most watched show in junior hockey, the Dan K Show, Brayton Frick of the Pittsburgh Penguins 16U Elite. Brayton, we talked to Coach Timmy K about you coming into the IHC fold, and he is ecstatic. Calls you a proven winner, a guy ready to compete, and just a goal-scoring machine. Talk about it. When you're talking with Coach K about this opportunity, what's going through your mind?
Just how excited I am to come in and play for such a great coach, and how I'm ready to step into the lineup and just help as best that I can do.
Now, what, for a lot of these folks there, they're going to be learning a little something about you in the next couple of years, but maybe give them a sneak preview. If there were a couple of words to describe you as a player, what would they be?
Hard worker. I'll do anything I can. Anywhere I'm put, just work my hardest.
I'll tell you what, man, you got the hockey interview down already, right? It's the four lines banging, it's getting pucks deep, and you're going through draft day right now. When you find out you're the first overall pick, who's the first person you tell? Who's the first person you celebrate with?
My family. No one better to do it with.
100%, man. So again, we're coming into this season. Islanders Hockey Club. This is a team trying to grab W's this year. Coach K said, watch out for us. We're going to be fast, we're going to be skilled, and we're going to be scoring. What do you think about IHC's chances in the NCDC this year? You think you guys are going to Dean Cup hunting?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year.
Absolutely love it. Congratulations, Brayton Frick. Learn the name now. You're going to see it on another draft night in a few years. I can tell you that much. Brayton, congratulations.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Oh, the pick is in. We heard Brayton Frick. And let's learn a little something about Brayton Frick right here. This is a year 2005 forward out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh Pens Elite 16U. I talked to Coach Kirk Costas. I knew he was on his board. Okay, I knew he was thinking Frick early on. He wasn't sure where he was going to go with them. You bring in Brayton Frick, Lucas. You bring in a guy who put up 80 points last year in 79 games playing with the Pens at all different levels. This is a young man that can score the puck, and more importantly, he's a proven winner. And that's what Coach Kirk Costas liked about this kid. I think he had a feeling this young man wouldn't hang around the board. I saw him on a few other teams' boards around the league. A lot of erasers just came out with this first pick.